Hey, Ivan here. So I'm a writer, educator, and marketer, and I got married. And if it's your first time watching me, I do run an account called Gentleman Walking, and I have a newsletter called the Wisdomous. And it's been almost 2 weeks I got married, and I did take a few notes from this. And I know this is not life advice. This is not about any topics to share about love, because what do I know? I'm only 2 weeks in. But these are reflections that I did write down, and I want to go through them so that I don't know if you're planning to, or if you are, and feel free to send me more notes. But these are things I just noticed, and I think they are very practical, and I think they're worth writing down. That's worth sharing. And the first one is love is a choice, not just a feeling. And what I mean by that is I always like the idea that love is more than emotion, but marriage makes the idea more practical, because when you get married, that means you're choosing that person. It's not a matter as if because when you get married, the most important part is not the love part. I think the most important part is the choice part, because you're choosing to settle down with that person, you're choosing that person, you're choosing to give your all to that individual, and that's important. And there's this quote which I wrote from Eric from where he says, like, love is not merely a feeling, it is an act of will. And to be honest, I'm starting to see that, because it's about what you're willing to do and what you're willing to share. 2, communication is deeper than talking. So me and my wife, we have different styles of communicating. I'm a writer, and how she's French, she's a woman, so there's this quote that women can talk more than men because we just don't know how to express our feelings. And I express my feelings through writing, she expresses her feelings through talking. And I think me and my wife, we have talked plenty before, but so far with marriage is we see the idea that there's a need for clarity when it comes to any argument. There's need for gentleness when it comes to any argument. And it's not just about the words we say, it's about the tone, the timing, and even the silence. Even when we're not talking, that silence is important. And I've found myself now learning to not ask what my partner wants, but also trying to recognize how they're feeling beneath the surface and what's actually going on. And I think it's also important. And we tend to forget that we should always have listen with the intent that what's needed is not just the answer, it's just so we get the message, but also we're able to communicate. And that's important, widening my ability to communicate. Point 3. So the small things, they carry the weight. What does this mean? So sometimes we focus on the wedding day, but I think when you think of marriage, it's those small, little, ordinary moments. Making tea, tidying up, making the bed, sharing a smile across the room, having those inside jokes when parents are around and with people. I think those become important now. And now this is feeling truer than ever, because now I'm married, I can actually say it. 4. So, disagreement doesn't mean disaster. One thing I learned with marriage is that although we're more connected, although it's different from the courtship, but doesn't mean we stop disagreeing on certain things. But we're going to have different plans, we're going to have different habits, but I think conflict doesn't equal trouble, and silence or avoidance isn't the solution. So what I can say is that disagreeing is okay, because sometimes it pulls you together and you want to stay connected. So whenever I disagree, don't think as if it's a disaster. No, it can be solved if you really work on it, and that's the parts I'm working on it. I intend to work on, to work more on that part of, hey, well, how can I give more in this relationship? 5, marriage is a subtle mirror. What do you mean by that? So one surprising thing I've noticed is how quickly marriage reveals your habits. Because now I'm very aware of what's going on. I see my impatience more clearly now. Not only just because it's mine, I think now I'm aware of things because I know they affect someone else. I know I'm with a partner, so I know that person also feels. They can see it, how it has a direct impact on someone, and that's very important because I have to work on that. And it's not a bad thing. I also see strengths. I see those moments of encouragement that I need. And I might have overlooked before when we were just quoting. And now I think with marriage, you see the better self, but you also see your worse self right there. And that's what I mean when I say marriage is a top mirror. Okay, 6, shared dreams keep you moving. So what do I mean by that? It's easy to get caught up in immediate, like the bills, the errands, but all you know that there's value in dreaming and putting projects together and, even simple things like, hey, can we talk about this? What can we do regarding this aspect of this? It becomes important because those are things that are going to keep us together. Those are the things that are going to create that us because we want to work on these projects together. So, 7, laughter lightens the load. What do you mean by that? If there's one thing that's saving us from taking ourselves too seriously, it's laughter. I'm a funny guy. I hope so. So I have lots of silly jokes, half-performed impressions, and laughing on our clumsiness. It all helps. Because I think you need things, lots of glows in marriage, and I think laughter helps a lot. Because whenever you take it too serious, you're bound to have a lot of friction. But when you have jokes and there's a bit of fun, I think it softens everything. 8, gratitude goes a long way. Just saying thank you. Saying whether for small thing, whether it's a big thing. I'm also someone who used to say thank you a lot, but now I want to say a lot because I think this is my expression of love. This is me telling my wife I love you and appreciate what you're doing for me, and please, let's keep going. And I love that. And I think almost a week in, more than a week actually, it's been almost 3 weeks. And I know I'm at the very beginning and I don't know what's coming. I hope I know because I've read and I've heard. But whatever happens, I'm ready to work for it because I think marriage is something you work on and something you keep pushing. And last, but a very important part, is having Jehovah God within what you're doing. Having God is important because He's going to be the one who's going to be helping this relationship to work. He's going to help this marriage to work. And whatever you want to do, that's the most important part. Whenever you're going to hardships, have to pray. Whenever anything's going well, have to praise. Because there's one important part that makes all this be what it is. It's because marriage is still God's institution. And there's no way you're going to go in God's institution that He put there without Him. And that's it for today. See you in the next one. And if you have any tips, any notes, please feel free to share. Thank you.